Groove here. Just made this video live stream to show Time Tunnel. It's a GAZarts mod. Enjoy. So hello. Yeah, I haven't checked this mod out yet, so I'm new to it too. I'm a modder myself, so I spend a lot of my time doing that. I just come across GAZarts work a couple nights ago. He's got some really good work, so that's going to be a whole lot of stuff there. There's going to be eventually you'll be in China, England, and a couple other locations in America, as well as a couple other locations I'm kind of keeping secret right now. If you look at the map in the 008's vault, that pretty much gives you some clues as to where you'll be going. Is the story itself, I'm not giving out too much information on that as it is, just because there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, and ultimately you'll get to lay your hands on some of the people responsible for what happened in the Great War. You kind of do already with the minor super behemoth that you meet that you kill in the bottom of West Tech's vault, because that was the director who pretty much was in charge of the FEV program, and that's part of the reason why I put Swan's logbook there last. Because I wanted people to get his logbook and read that. As he broke out of there, he sabotaged the vault and infected everyone with FEV. So, he kind of got his yeah, that's where I'm wanting to go right there. He kind of got justice for himself on his way out.
Hey there.
PlayStation. I can't tell you the number of times. Part of the reason why I haven't done some of the updates yet is, PlayStation's crap with killing NPCs. It's the reason why you don't see Gruv at Gruv's place. You only see the merchants there right now, because I can put them in without too much trouble from Sony. Hopefully with the next CEO will change the rules and shit and allow me to do new quests and NPCs and stuff without having to get on the Creation Club, because that's the only reason why I'm even trying to get into the Creation Club, is so I can do much bigger quests and actually have working quests. And Because pretty much the 008 Vault Tech quest, that's just kind of like a bobblehead quest, kind of like the comic books. There's no map markers. It's just going out and gathering up information and occasionally running into the people responsible. I'm actually got plans on something for the Silver Shroud. Uh, I've been working on several different mods for the last several months, so I haven't really gotten time to start working on that one yet. But I got ideas in my head I'm working on. It's going to be like a bat cave under Good Neighbor, because you know Kent's such a freak about the Silver Shroud that you know he had 200 years to build a lot more than just a gun. So there's gonna be like a whole bat cave, a shroud cave underneath Good Neighbor. That'll be like a player home, because Good Neighbor is one of my most favorite places. That's probably gonna kill me. Oh no. Okay, well I can't walk off there. I wonder if I can fly over it. I got some ideas for what can be done with this out here. That's part of the entire reason why I'm even doing this right now, because I wanted to explore this area outside of Sanctuary. That's cool. Yeah, I was hoping I could make the railroad Good Neighbor Safe House the quest line that's in that, because you get to build a settlement underground there. But by the time I got done doing that, Sony had already changed up the well, not Sony, but because there for a while, you know, modders were able to actually get stuff onto the PlayStation that Sony didn't really want us to, and because of a glitch in the creation kit that allowed us just to, you know, ignore it, and it would still upload some of it anyways. But they fixed that while I was working on the railroad, and I didn't realize it until after I got done with it and another mod. So, because I got 3 working settlements done before they switched things around on me, and so I'm kind of, you know, stuck at the moment of being able to build more settlements. I can build settlements where you can build stuff, but you can't get settlers or send caravanners or anybody there. I wonder if I can land on the ground here. It may crash the game. Nope. Having a working jetpack is handy. So what happens if I swim down? I make them with the creation kit. It's kind of like settlement building, but on steroids with a whole lot of cocaine. Because, I mean, you have access to everything, and up until about 7 months ago, I didn't even have any of this stuff to do it. I just built my the stuff I needed, a couple other programs to help me make new content, but with Sony's rules and stuff, I'm trying to find a way of getting around those. But, you know, every time you do, they kind of fix glitches and shit to keep you from doing it. Oh, damn. No place to fast travel. I was hoping there'd be some land out here I could stand on. Because I was planning on making a mod using some of this territory out here for... It would be in the 008. I love the way this land kind of looks here, but it's all just not solid. I mean, this looks like almost a completely new map here, but I'd have to create collision data for the land masses, and that's not gonna work for PlayStation. Come on, let me out of the water. I know what I'll do. Oh, wrong way. Let me get out of the water. Went to the sanctuary, went outside the sanctuary area to explore the world outside pre-war sanctuary. And fell off the map. Well, I kind of jumped off the map, but can't get... There I go. Fuck. Shit. Sorry about that. Been trying to use the jetpack for a while. It won't let me out. There we go. Yeah, this land here is not solid. is solid land. I'll wait and land up there though. I'm outside Red Rocket now. There's the water tower outside Red Rocket. There's just not a Red Rocket sitting here. I got an idea for something to do outside of Sanctuary. I just wanted to see how much land was available out there. Plus some of that other area out there that's not really land, but looks like land. Looks really cool. What's up, Unibros? Oh, that's all cool, Flower Power. I've just been playing around. Well, I got stuck outside the map for a minute. Actually, for about 15 minutes. Just now got back in. I really like GAZarts' work. I don't really do too much in the way of mod reviews, but, you know, sometimes I'll see something that, you know, I think looks really neat, and I'll do a review of it, check it out. Oh, hello. Yeah, it is getting kind of late over there.
Tell me about this mysterious Phase 3.
You know I can't talk about that.
Nobody even notices a door just sitting here.
We're all looking forward to working with you.
You are? You don't even know who the fuck I am yet. I just got here.
It's an honor to have you here, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office. You can tell him that
Thank
I
you.
intend to speak to
Yeah, I'm working on a new one now. Well, not a new one. I'm working on some more of it.
Totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your
I think the next update will be a whole series of thrones.
Remember to keep
If you,
unnecessary power consumption to a minimum.
I just updated it again last night, and there's if you go into the Groovy furniture shop, there's a little hatch on the floor, and I'm getting there. No, there's a little hatch on the floor next to the stairs, and if you go down there, you can see one of the thrones I got set up right now with just the normal stuff I've already built. I'm going to be building a lot more stuff. I mean, I'm just, usually reason why I work on multiple mods at the same time is while I'm working on a mod, I'll have an idea for another mod or an idea for a mod I'm already working on. And I bounce back and forth between them, and that's right now I'm kind of working on making new openers for my YouTube channel using some of the stuff I did in the Groovy Furniture pack, and working on researching for the next update to 008, and doing some work on the next update for Groovy Furniture. And probably the next update for Groovy Furniture will have a series of floor mats with it that'll allow your NPCs to lean and do other things around the throne, wherever you put them. If you take a human or ghoul companion in with you when you go into the lower area of the Groovy Furniture shop, after you sit down in the throne, because what's set up down there now, there's already a mat under it, so you'll be able to sit in the throne and then just sit there and watch. There's 4 spots around it, NPC markers around it, that'll allow you to I can't.
Hey, don't try anything strange.
I do. I listen to people, and I think that's what made the gaming industry so horrible today, is that the people who make the games don't listen to people anymore, and
Still waiting to hear from Randall.
that's kind of a necessity if you want to keep making good games. Maybe that was the way I came in. So that.
Don't try anything, stranger. Nah, I don't.
Because it was kind of what started me off on Workshop anyways, was because I got a buddy that, that's all he does with Fallout is settlement build. He hasn't even played the game yet in 2 years. Yeah. Hell, that's how part of what's messing up Hollywood as well. I mean, because they don't listen to people anymore either. I mean, oh, there it is.
If you'll excuse me, I'm quite busy.
That's cool. Yeah, I pretty much quit playing video games about 6 years ago. Because they were just, getting really crappy. The stories are really bad. And, especially as a writer, I mean, you really, really see bad storytelling then. I mean, and I don't really see the need for reboots either. I mean, why not just continue? I mean, that's just a horrible idea to do reboots, because, then you're just basically saying everything that came before doesn't matter anymore. And, if I was one of these people that own these studios, I just make sequels, you know, to what came out before, because then, you know, this is pretty neat here, because then they would have, you know, people would have a reason to go buy the ones that came out before, whereas, you know, doing reboots, and some reboots though, well, damn, I can't think of the one it's called. The one that Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in the day, but they just redid it, where they go to Mars, and Total Recall. That one I was okay with, because, you know, the movie written in the 80s was, you know, written, you know, there was a book that came before, and they like completely butchered the book when they made the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So, you know, they kind of stuck true to the book when they made the reboot, because, you know, that was a much better story.
Yeah, I get it. Just what if I miss? Okay, sure.
I mean, and occasionally you get some people like Peter Jack. Oh, I thought they were shooting at me. It's a bad idea.
Firing.
Yeah, it's really, really rare. That's part of what I'm hoping to do here with the he put his marker here when you come back through the door, setting in the floor some. Hopefully I could fast travel. Yeah, cool. I've completed it multiple times. This story was the worst of them all. I mean, they made several errors, and then there's even some story that could have been told in this one that just was completely missed. I mean, oh, shut up, Preston. I mean, given the fact that the sole survivor, I think even Nora should be, you know, a soldier as well. You know, in the rewrite that I'm working on, because that's why I started modding, was, you know, because the story was so bad, I decided, you know, everybody else is modding and adding new stuff, but, you know, nobody's modding the story, and I'm attacking the story head on, and that's part of what the 008 is. I'm going back to the first stories, and I'm trying to make people rethink the way they think about this game, the whole story, because, like, basically a lot of people have a misinterpretation of Roger Maxson and his actions at Mariposa. You know, a lot of people have this belief that, you know, he was second in command of security. He was second in command of the entire base. He was at West Tech facility when the FEV research started, before it was the PvP. But, you know, when the government took over, they sent him and Major Barnett, you know, who was first in command. So he was second in command even at the West Tech. And when they moved FEV to Mariposa, I guarantee you he was on the same truck with the FEV. He knew all about FEV. And then Spindle, Colonel Spindle, the CO the commanding officer of Mariposa, a base built for FE scientists were doing. I mean, he was in charge. The government seized control over what was supposed to be a cure for all diseases and tried to turn it into a super soldier serum, which could have worked if they had just left it alone with what the scientists had did. But they didn't want smart soldiers like Captain America. They want dumb brutes like the Incredible Hulk, and that's why this world's got super mutants in it. Later, unibros. I mean, I really liked the Brotherhood of Steel in 3. I thought Lyons was a good person, and I do think there is some redeeming qualities of Maxon, because part of what I'm working on here is I think part of what made him upset was that he was told the soldiers that were being experimented on were volunteers. And I think that was true at first. It's easy to go out and get volunteers like, hey, we're trying to create Captain Americas. Would you want to be involved in it? A lot of people are going to say yeah. But when those first people say yeah, just end up disappearing and there are no Captain Americas. And, the next group of people, they ask them like, well, wait a minute, what happened to the first group? Oh, well, they're all dead. You want to volunteer? No. I was happy with the voiceover. That was a nice addition. Later, random. But it's like one of the stories that could have been told with this one that can't be told. And if I can get into the Creation Club, I'll probably be making that. It'll be, the sole survivor, either or, Nora or Nick. Being frozen for 200 years, there is a possibility of them finding family that's turned ghoul. And since, they're soldiers, then, it could be said that, his brother or her brother was a soldier fighting in China, not China, well, they could have been fighting in China. There were American soldiers fighting in China when the bombs fell. So, but he was fighting in Alaska when the bombs fell, and it took him 30 some odd years to walk back to Boston from there. And basically what I'm working on is basically Preston will send you to go help a settlement after you take the castle. But when you get to the settlement, you don't find one of your people at the one of your settlers. You find some NPC character who came into the settlement looking for help. He tells you that some group of ghoul gunners took his settlement from him and killed all the other people, and he asks you if you'll go help. And when you get to that settlement area, you realize that the neighborhood your brother used to live in, and the house where the leader of the raid. 4 different ways that you can enter this, and because you can come in at night, sneak by everybody, sneak into the house and talk to the guy, or you can come in at night and just kill everybody and then talk to the guy. Or you can come in during the daytime, kill everybody, and then talk to the guy. Or you can come in during the daytime, and the guard at the gate will actually greet you with a "Hello, sir, how are you to this fine day?" All polite, not like a gunner or a raider or anything. And he'll actually just give you directions, and you can walk by everybody, all the ghouls that you see in military gear. And then when you get into the house and you start talking to the guy, you realize, oh, wait a minute, this is my brother's house. And when you say that, he's like, what are you talking about? This has been my house since before the Great War. And that's when you realize you're talking to your brother who's turned ghoul. And if you don't kill everybody outside before, when he joins you as a companion, all the guys outside join the Minutemen. And whenever that happens, then whenever Preston gives you a mission to go help a settlement, if you do go help, when you get there, you find those guys, because they're all U.S. military. Been fighting raiders, Brotherhood of Steel, because they consider the Brotherhood of Steel to be traitors, since, you know, Maxon himself described himself as a traitor. He defected from the military, killed off government employees. I mean, he clearly is a defector and a traitor. And at wartime, nonetheless, that's even worse than doing it at peacetime. I mean, that's pretty much punishable by firing squad, even today. I mean, so, I mean, your brother who's military would not have any love at all for the Brotherhood. And that pretty much starts because, you know, as he worked his way back from Alaska, he found other members of the military, and that's how the group got built up that he's with. And when he hears about a group of people in power armor, he thinks, oh, they must be a military part. Well, when he goes to talk to them, that's the Brotherhood of Steel in their first days. And, you know, once he finds out that, you know, they defected and everything that happened at Mariposa, he pretty much turns enemies with... I mean, if you get... As a companion, I want it so that if you have him and Dance in the same area, they'll argue constantly. You'll have to, like, keep them in separate settlements, or else you'll constantly be walking into arguments. And if you take him to the Pridwin, he's got some words for Arthur Maxon about his fucking great-great-grandfather and shit. But, I mean, I think that would be one hell of a Minuteman overhaul, is to have half of the group actually be U.S. soldiers that have over 200 years of fighting experience. I mean, there's not many forces in existence in Fallout in 2277 that can stand up to something like that. I mean, they know how to get through power armor. They know the weaknesses because, you know, over 200 years ago they were trained how to use them. And it's part of the reason why I think Nora should be military trained as well, because in all the other games you have to have training to use power armor, except for this game. This game you can just walk right up in and just get into them. And I think the best explanation for that is, you know, Nick's already got Nate's already got training, you know, because he's military. And if Nora was military as well, then she would have training. I mean, basically, they knew how to use power armor 200 years before any of the current Brotherhood of Steel knew how to use it. I mean, because they were using it back when it was brand spanking new and not all rusty like this. Cool. If you have any problems finding the mods, I have a mod list on my YouTube channel. For some reason, people have been having issues finding my stuff. I'm not exactly sure why, but, you know, some of the stuff you, like, look it up and it just won't appear. So I got mod links there for, you can click on those and it'll take you straight to Bethesda. In the description I tell you how to work it out, so you can get it onto your PlayStation or Xbox from the PC. Yeah, well, that's part of what the Vault-Tec quest line is going to be. Is it's going to because basically what I'm working on researching and writing right now is a completely new timeline, but not omitting anything that's already in the timeline. Just playing around with the story that's already there, and, you know, because there's a lot of holes in it, and, you know, I've been reading some of what the writers have been saying about it, you know, why it's like that, and, you know, they kind of left it like that, so later on they have story that they can tell, and then they also leave it open for fan fictions and things like that, basically for what modders are doing now. But and you know, playing around with the creation kit, I think Bethesda has serious intentions with helping modders do what they do, because I mean, there's some stuff in the creation kit that just isn't in the game, and it's just extra archive data that we can play around with and add to the PlayStation, and without having to mess with PlayStation's rules to get new stuff in, because there's already new stuff that they just didn't put in. I mean, hell, there's a bunch of new cells and stuff that they didn't use that can be used. And then most of what I've been doing, I mean, when I do subways and some of the vaults and things like that I'm doing, I'm just copying. I'm not building it all from scratch myself, because you know, the way I'm looking at it, you know, if there's a company that builds vaults, then they're not going to build every vault completely unique of each other. I mean, if you go around and look at every Chipotle or every Starbucks, you'll find that, you know, a lot of these places, especially Quick Trips now, I mean, you walk into any Quick Trip anywhere in America, it looks exactly the same as it does in every Quick Trip anywhere in America. I mean, and that's the way companies do stuff, is they just have like a set, like couple different designs that they would build. Oh, I'm not in there. But so that's why whenever I do subways and things like that, I'll just take what's in the game already and rework it a little bit, because the idea is that the company that built that would have, you know, built it along certain lines. There isn't really much
Useless.
to do here. I'm gonna download one of his other ones here real quick. Probably Haunted Vault next. No. Yeah. I can go check out Groovy Furniture. Show you guys downstairs. Anyways, after I'm done with the 008 one, because that's taking care of everything that takes place from before the Great War, before the formation of the Enclave, and what causes the formation of the Enclave, because that's going to be one big ass twist right there that's gonna smack you right across the face when it happens. But after all that's said and done, because you'll hear me comment about the 5th option mod from time to time, and that's most of my mods are part of the 5th option mod, which is, it's all one big story that I'm working on. And the super behemoths and things like that, the new monsters, there's stories that go along with that. I mean, Zimmer's missing in this one. I don't think Zimmer is dead, because if he was dead, then there would be, you know, somebody else already sitting as a director, not an assistant director, while he's gone. And I think Zimmer's working on his own plans. The 5th option mod basically shows how there's multiple factions within factions itself. And this game, I mean, you see that with the Minutemen. I mean, that's why the Minutemen fell apart, because there were separate factions within the Minutemen. Some who wanted to go out and help people, some who wanted to just, you know, keep to themselves because they were tired of helping people and wanted to become more like raiders. And that's the reason why Clint joins the Gunners and that group at the I can't think what it's called, the boat area where all the crashed boats are. And that's why they turned into raiders. And then you see it within the Institute itself. That, I mean, because when Sean announces that you're going to be the next director, you know, what does a couple of other directors do? Oh, they decide they're gonna hoard food, water, and breathable air from the rest of the vault of the people in the Institute. I mean, it's clearly there's a separation. Now, this is one of the new the new thrones. This isn't in the workshop yet. The chair will probably be a separate item that you'd have to place down so you get the mat into it. And as far as fire, that's something I'm trying to work out, being able to do, because I can't get fire into the static collection, so it sets like this. This is just something I built in the creation kit here. And the red carpet. Let's see if she'll come up here and do something. Or just walk against stuff like a retard.
Hey,
Sure. Just keep your shit
over
on.
here.
I'm on it, Captain. Done for now, eh?
Come on, Kate. But these because it got.
I'm listening.
No, I don't want you to listen. I want you to do stuff. Here we go. I'm gonna make a bunch of different floor mats where the NPCs do different things. We'll sit down. I'm gonna have it where, because they got the ones where people kneel down and pray. I'm gonna have that in there too. So you can set up a throne and then have like a whole line of like settlers kneeled down like they're praying to you. Or have a bunch of prisoners. Hey man, I guess I'm no longer the king. Shit. But this is going to be the display room for the thrones down here. I can't do that. Oh, let me back out. I got 99 mods right now. So I'm gonna load up another one of GAZ's here. I might start up a new live stream and retitle it for the new one. I'll be back on it a bit. I don't know if anybody's still in here. It says 0, but it says 0 and people talk to me, so I'll be back if there's anybody still in here. And YouTube's screwy. If not, then I'm talking to myself right now, so